Before we move on, we have a cool product to check out today. It's the Everyday Earbuds by Raycon. Look at these. These are nice. They don't stick out of your ears like other brands. They're great. Ray-Ban comes with a bunch of gel tips so it feels comfortable. They also have a 32-hour battery life, longer than most earbuds I ever used. Music is essential to me to drown out all the music around me and keep me in the zone. I want to focus on being the baddest motherfucker on the planet. Drown everything out. Look, they feel good. They feel secure. And they're affordable, too. Only half the price of other premium auto brands. Also comes with a 45-day happiness guarantee. Our listeners at home should check them out. I approve. They can use Raycons to listen to this podcast. And if you want to buy your own pair of Raycons, go to buyraycon.com/hotboxing to get 15% off your purchase. YouTube viewers can click the link in our description box below. Buy Raycons. Mike told you to. Oh, this is good. This is good. We talking about?
Yeah. I don't want to call her a tomato, but...
Wow. If my mentor called you a tomato can, that's worse than calling you a nigga. That shit's some bad stuff in boxing. The way I grew up, my trainer, he's born in 1908. There's nothing worse than a tomato can to him. If he calls you a tomato can, he has no respect for you, your life, your mother. I don't know why. I don't know what. I don't know what the reason is, because the tomato can won't give. It won't. Boom. You can just push it. You can blow it over. It won't resist nothing. It's fucking can useless. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the opportunity to be blessed here with the greatest fighter of her generation, and she's getting ready to supersede that and be the greatest fighter in the MMA. And I'd like to introduce the world's greatest fighter, Miss Claressa Shields.
For those watching, if y'all didn't clap, I'm going to clap.
Everybody clap, please. You're the boss. So tell me, I see here you've been boxing since you were 11. You started at 11. What caused you to want to be a boxer?
You know what? I really started boxing to take after my dad. My dad had been in prison for a couple years. He got out when I was 9 years old. And he just was telling me if he would have stuck to what he was passionate about, he would have never went to prison. And I was like, well, what were you passionate about? He said boxing. So I really took up boxing so my dad could live some of his life through me.
So by doing this, tell me about the first time you ever got in the ring.
The first time I ever sparred, I had been training for 2 months. It was against one of my close friends, Darion Lawson. I call him my cousin. And he had been boxing for 5 years compared to my 2 months. And he just picked on me every day for the first 2 months of training, saying, like, girls don't need to be in the gym. You don't know what you're getting yourself into. I'm going to beat you up when we spar. And when we sparred, my first time sparring, I got hit in the nose and my eyes got watery. And then that's when I found out that I was a true savage because I kicked Darion's ass.
Poor Darion who's watching this interview. You got your
Love
ass
you, D.
Listen, I wanted to fight in the Olympics. I lost in the trials, but I was an alternate, so I went to Los Angeles to watch the Olympics. And so I went around, and then I met Sugar Ray Robinson. I met some old fighters. I met him, right? I met him. I was like a real groupie. He said, you got to be in shape. You got to make sure you're running and things. I ran 10 miles that day.
Okay.
Just because he told me I had to be in shape. These guys had a big influence on me. And that's what I want to know. Who had to put a big influence on you? Besides your fight, you had to see a fighter and say, hey, I want to be like that.
You know what? It was Muhammad Ali.
Really?
That's the fighter who I saw, and I said, I want to be like him. And not just him inside the ring, but like him all around. Like, I want to be as confident as him. I want to be
So pretty much you want to be an activist?
Yeah.
Yeah? Muhammad Ali, he's the most confident fighter that ever lived.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I studied him a lot. And most of his fighting, as he got a little older, was all psychology. You know, Ali would box with the you would never think, you know, why they hate him. Ali would be in the clinch talking about their mother screwing their mother, their sister. I caught your sister around the truck and I did this. And Ali is the most disgusting person when he's in the ring fighting. He's saying things so bad. The referee said, I just can't even tell you what he was saying. I never thought he would do that. He doesn't look like that guy, but he's in there talking about screwing this person in your family and this and that. And Joe Frazier said, what kind of man is like that? Who does that? And that's just who he was. He was a psychology. He fought he got to a certain age where he wasn't as fast as he was, and so he used a lot of psychology.
I think that boxing has a lot to do with alter egos because we're not who we are inside the ring, outside the ring.
You couldn't fight without an ego. You know
That
what I mean?
part.
You couldn't fight. This is an interesting thing that you can learn right now. We need the ego to fight. We need the ego to succeed. We need the ego because the ego is just protecting us. It believes. But what happens? When the ego is out of control. We all go through that part when the ego is out of control and we think we're more than what we are. The ego is only an illusion that controls us in some states. Just an illusion, doesn't exist. But we make it exist, and from making that ego exist, we accomplish really great things. But it's only an illusion. Isn't that odd? Something that doesn't have no existence can make something real.
Well, ain't that what faith is, though?
Faith is different. Faith is different.
Like, faith is like believing that something is possible without actually seeing that it's possible. Because I'm a Christian, so I'm more faith-based. And it's like, if you're going to read Jeremiah 29:11, it say, I grew up poor and I didn't really have nothing. So this Bible scripture here kept my ego and kept my hope alive growing up. It say, for I, God, know the plans I have for you, plans to give you a better future and prosper. And so even though I was going through a lot, I was hungry, I didn't have clothes, I didn't have shoes, I didn't have a bed. It was like, for I, God, know the plans I have for you, plans to give you a better future and plans for you to prosper. So that's where my faith came from, and where I was like, God got something planned for me. I just have to stay accord. And how I made it was through boxing.
I love and I admire religion. But when you look at that Bible, you look at that Quran, you look at Gita Gita, you look at these books, and I say, even if they got 1 million pages, can that define God?
No.
Okay, I just because I get confused sometimes, and that's why I just know religion is just beautiful, and God is beautiful, and everything God made here is beautiful. The murderers, fighting, everything is from love. Everything we do here is from love. I know it doesn't sound, even fighting is love.
Yeah, it is.
Everything is love. Knowing that I'm talking about real fighting to the death. Knowing that you got my back, I got your back, I got your back. And that's love. It's all love. Dying is love. You reach your highest purpose in life when you no longer exist. Then you meet God. And all that is fighting too. I was trying to talk to my daughter that my trainer told me something, and it haunted me. He said, Mike, I want to tell you something. You got to be careful how you fight your fights. Because by the way you fight your fights will be the way you live your life. You don't know what that means? All your mistakes, everything you get to make you successful and to make you fail in boxing will do the same to you in life.
That's deep.
It's just, it gives you everything. Our ego gives us everything, but it takes too much in return.
Well, I always say I like to keep my boxing personality and keep who I really am. Like, have them right in the middle, so I don't have to change too much to be a certain type. Like, I'm not going to make myself be acceptable for people to like me. It's like, I am who I am, and each time you ask me something, if it's tomorrow, the next week, I got the same answer. It's hard pretending to be somebody who you're not.
But this is what you don't understand. This is what you don't understand. You already changed yourself. You know how you change yourself? By changing the world. You changed the world. You don't think you did?
I definitely did change the world, and I'm still doing that right now.
So you could always change. You're changing constantly. You're changing so fast you can't even see the change.
Yeah.
Everything that happened to you is supposed to happen to you.
And that's what I say. That's
What's
why I
your
always look
toughest
forward.
fight? Can I see some of my fights? What was your toughest fight?
Toughest fight. I would have to say my pro debut
The
against
debut, who you fought?
Frenchon Cruz. She is the super middleweight unified champion right now at 168. We fought a few times in the amateurs. We fought 4 times, and I beat her every time in the amateurs. We fought my pro debut, and she's always been stronger than me. I kind of came up, I was 16 and 17 coming up fighting against women that was 23, 24 to make the Olympic team. And she had that women's strength at the time.
At the time, yeah.
At the time. I got the women's strength now. But at the time, she had it. So when we met after I won my second Olympics, Franchon wasn't strong as me, but she kind of had some idea of how I fought, and she had like a
She's
no
a good
back
fighter.
down
I remember her.
energy.
I remember her shorts. She's a good fighter.
Yeah, she's a no back down type of fighter. And she really wanted to beat me. Her mom was watching, and her mom passed a week after this. So this was the last fight that her mom was able to watch her fight. And she just really put everything on the table, and I put everything on the table.
She's fighting back, too.
Yeah, and I came out
Oh,
victorious.
she's coming, too, yeah.
And she's a strong, big girl. She's a stronger, big girl.
She's not afraid either.
Not afraid,
intimidated.
strong, skilled.
She's waiting to get close to you to clock you.
Understand the assignment. Yeah, she's strong.
Ooh.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this was a 4-round war in Las Vegas on the Andre Ward Kovalev undercard.
That's when he knocked him out?
That was the first fight. And we were the first women to actually fight at the T-Mobile Arena, me and Franchon Cruz. And this fight here was it was a war. And I was able to come out on top with a unanimous decision, but I really had to dig deep.
I love the way you keep your hands up when you're punching.
I got to protect my face.
Yeah, a lot of people don't do that. I don't care. A lot of people that don't care how many fights, 100, 300 amateur fights, they don't put their hands up, you know?
Well, I grew up in a gym boxing against guys growing up, Mike. So the guys used to try to hurt me.
Yeah,
so I have to learn, like,
that's what
defense,
it is.
Offense, got to be smarter instead of being stronger. That's the kind of gym that I grew up in.
See, I didn't work smart. When I was fighting, we work hard. We break our knees. We break the bone in our body. Yes, in training. Because we want to outwork everybody. And we learned, and later in life, that it's about working smarter, not harder.
Mm-hmm. I learned that till I was about 20, though.
Yeah, you learn that because you want to show the world, this is what I got. But save a little for them. You know, don't give it all to them. Take it easy, slow, smart. All the time I fought, I was always in the hospital, hurt my leg, hurt my hands, fooling around, playing in the streets, getting street fights, got gashes.
I heard myself dancing at the club, something that had nothing related to boxing.
When I was dancing and knocked somebody out at the club by accident. Dancing and knocked the motherfucker out. Oh, shit. Come on, I want to see some of your championship fights. Tell me about your championship fight.
I've had 10 championship fights, which is really a good one.
It's this one girl that I thought you fought. What's her name? She's a good-looking girl.
Christina Hammer?
That could be her, like a mulatto chick.
You talking about Hannah Gabriels?
Yeah, she just thinks she a tough ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I whooped her ass.
And she just thinks she a badass.
Yeah. And this is me and Christina Hammer. This was for the Undisputed Championship at 160. I took Christina Hammer for a wild ride, I'll tell you that. And that was probably the easiest fight of my career. And she talked the most stuff, had the best accomplishments. 24-0, 11 knockouts. And I was 8-0 when we fought.
Well, this is a girl from Scotland, Ireland or Sweden or somewhere.
Germany.
I know she's a good fighter, though.
That's how you decipher who's good and who's great. But this was actually supposed to be my toughest fight in the pros, but it wasn't.
See, everybody thinks they know what's right. There's no, listen, those guys, those critics, those guys that are picking fights, when human beings are involved, anything can happen.
Well, I be telling certain fighters, like, it's the media's job to make one fighter be the monster and make the other fighter be kind of, he's not good enough or she's not good enough to be inside the ring. It's their job to paint the person to be a monster. So Christina Hammer was the German monster who was supposed to come and destroy the unexperienced girl from Flint with the 2 Olympic gold medals. She was supposed to come beat me up.
You need to be ripping that right hand to her body instead of her head. Rip it right around here.
You know what? I got to get more better at not headhunting because my right hand is so fast.
Don't listen. Know what? If you're if you're a hard puncher, right? Even the guys that are not hard punchers, they hurt you to the hit you in the head and hurt you because you got structure, but they can hurt you to the body. Constantly punch to the body. Mm-hmm. The body is all about the body. The headshots are spectacular, but the body take it out of them. Take it out of the best of them. You find out what they're made out of. If anybody could get hit with one punch, a lucky punch, boom, and get knocked out. When you're getting body punches, you decide not to get up. You're conscious and you make the decision, I'm not getting up.
Yeah, because you broke it mentally.
You broke them down. Yeah, that's beautiful. Forget them head knocks. I like to break them down. They know they never have a chance in their life to beat me.
Well, that's the thing about women's boxing, though. We only got 2 minutes to get the job done.
2 minutes is a lot. Try holding your breath for 2 minutes. 2 minutes? No. Try talking for 2 minutes straight.
The men have 3 minutes.
If you could do 2 minutes, you could do 3 minutes.
But that's the thing. I feel like I need more time.
You can get knocked out in 10 seconds. And when they do it for 2 rounds, know why? Because there's more excitement. 3 rounds might make you slug it out, but the 2 rounds you got to put in a lot of work in a small increment of time. And that's why it's exciting. Yeah, it makes you work harder and faster. You don't have much time with 3 minutes. Mm-hmm. You can coast for a minute. Right here, you can't do much coasting for 2 minutes.
No, cause you want to get the round in. You want to win a round.
Can't do much coasting. Oh, you just decided to just beat her down, huh? Come in, punch.
Pretty mean in there.
As mean as good. Stay smart. Stay smart. Mean people get knocked out too if they don't move their head. That's why when I'm in the fight, I'm not mean. I'm not sad. I'm not happy. I'm nothing. I'm just objective.
Neutral.
Yeah, pretty neutral, but with a mission. Mm-hmm. Once they get you mad, they own you.
Yeah, I don't ever fight mad.
No. Oh, that hurt. They don't know how much that hurt right here by the ear. Right here, that hurts so much.
It do.
Oh, man. You don't know, boom, that's that blind. You sort of black out.
The thing about Christina Hammer, she was actually, once she was left-handed and she fights with her left hand in front. So her left hand was actually, her jab was hard as hell, one. But I had figured that out already from watching a lot of her fights. She didn't think I knew. But then again, like, I think she was a pretty good base fighter, but she had no upper body movement as far as in, head movement.
Most of the Europeans don't. They're straight up fighters.
Yeah, and she's kind of more of moving on her feet than moving her upper body, which I knew was going to be in close. I was going to close the distance.
You hit with some body shots right there. That really she felt. Always come back with that right, boom, left hook. Yeah, right back, like that. But boom, always come back, not one punch. She could counter one punch, 2 punches. Mm-hmm.
Christina Hammer was a professional holder also. She held me a lot throughout this fight.
Look at her shoulders, how big her shoulders are. How much did she weigh?
This fight was at 160. I think we probably both, after we rehydrated, probably weighed now. I was 165. I think she was 168.
Yeah. She looks big. She's smart. She's trying to hit you with some body punches because your body punches hurt her. You're keeping her thinking, You're keeping her thinking. So tell me, what's the goal? Is there somebody out there you have a big money fight you can fight?
Yeah. So I have a fight October 27th, MMA for the PFL. And then I fight boxing to defend my titles at 160 in the UK. But after I fight in the UK in December, we're hoping to get Savannah Marshall. She's the only person to ever beat me in the amateurs. I was 77-1 in the amateurs. Savannah Marshall had got a very close decision, and I want to fight her and beat her. But that's the only big fight that I have, or like if me and Franchon wants to do a rematch in the pros. But right now, Savannah Marshall is who I'm looking forward to fighting next year.
Do we have her in there? Can we see where she fights? You fought her already?
No, I haven't fought her as a pro.
Let's see what this chick looks like.
Yeah, so they're building Savannah Marshall up to be this big old knockout artist. She knocks everybody out. She's 10-0 with like
Where's
8 knockouts. From? The UK.
Yeah.
But all her opponents have losing records, who she fight against, and et cetera, et cetera. That's who the next
victim is. Huh?
Yeah, that's who the next victim is.
When I used to fight, say, hey, this is your food right here, champ. Right here, fight. Hey, champ, here's your food right here.
The girl she's fighting right now is off.
This is the girl we talking about?
Yeah. She's off of a week notice. Her opponent has only been her opponent for a week. She's showing up to fight her like 15-8 or something like that is her record.
She got the little cool moves and shit, right? When she feels your jab, she's gonna be like, fuck.
She don't have her hands up now, but she'll have them up then. That's what I'm saying. Like, the girl she's fighting is just, I don't know. I don't want to call her a tomato, but.
Wow. If my mentor called you a tomato can, that's worse than calling you a nigga. That's just some bad stuff in boxing.
Tomato can.
If somebody, listen, the way I grew up, my trainer, he's born in 1908. There's nothing worse than a tomato can to him. If he calls you a tomato can, he has no respect for you, your life, your mother. I don't know why. I just don't know what. I don't know what the reason is, because the tomato can won't give. It won't. Boom. You can just push it. You can blow it over. It won't resist nothing. It's fucking can. Useless.
Mike, you see anything that you
No, this is
think I should be worried about?
This is a fucking amateur, but she's the top rank amateur though. She ain't no bum amateur. She's the top amateur. I shouldn't be talking like this. I should be objective. Well,
I would say that
she got good moves. No, she got that good moves. She got the slick amateur roll.
I would say that when we fought when I was 17, we were getting ready to go to the Olympics, and London was hosting the Olympics. So that gave her more of a favor. I'm not mad about the loss because I won the Olympics 2 times and she was there.
Ooh.
She didn't medal.
She's
Yeah.
relaxed. No, but I noticed something about her. She's relaxed. She's a relaxed fighter.
Everybody can be relaxed against bums.
Oh, that's good too. She just don't look like she should be your. No, she could be your sparring partner. That would be cool.
About to be over real
Yeah,
soon.
this is gonna be really. Oh, this is gonna be really interesting fight. What do you think about Canelo and this guy Caleb?
Caleb.
Caleb, yeah.
Caleb Plant.
Caleb Plant be talking shit.
You know what? I think that Caleb possessed the skills to beat Canelo. I just don't know if Caleb can withstand the
pressure.
punches.
Yeah, he's
from
gonna feel some
Canelo.
shit.
Because I think in order to beat Canelo, you got to be able to outbox him. You got to be able to hurt him. You got to be able to make him respect you.
If you can't hurt him,
it's
you're
over.
Dead.
Yeah, it's
you're
over.
Dead because
You
he's
can't
gonna
hurt
walk
him.
right through you.
Yeah,
You
so I
can't
think
hurt
he
him, you're
possessed the skills, but I don't know if he possessed the power to hurt him or to withstand his
I know he's
power.
gonna use those skills. He's gonna
Yeah.
miss some punches. He's gonna feel the fucking wind of those punches that he missed. And he's gonna say, "Fuck, how I'm gonna get out of this shit." He's like, "I'm gonna get out of this shit." So tell us more. You in love?
Yeah, right now, yes.
Oh fuck! How was that like?
You know what? I've only been in love twice, and I say the second time was much better than the first time. And my boyfriend Tony is he's a different kind of man that I've ever been with. Like,
Tell me about that.
He's
He's romantic?
No.
No, okay.
No, he's
That's not your kind of guy, the romantic guy.
No, I like a romantic guy, but he's just I feel like I can be nicer with him. Like I can be protected by him. And I've always felt like guys that I was with, I always had to do like the protecting of myself, the providing for myself. And I feel like he protects me, he can provide for me. And he can also handle me also. Like he's not softer than me. So when if I tell him to shut up or something, he'd be like, no, you shut the fuck up.
I can't control my wife. My wife won't obey me like that. I won't even try to make her. She's just not made like that.
He understands that I'm a fighter, but I love fighting. I love boxing or MMA, but I don't like to
domestic fighting.
Yeah, like fight outside the ring or argue and stuff like that. I don't even like play fighting. Like people play hitting me. Because I think I have an anger problem or something.
I like to argue. Argue is stimulating. I love to do it.
No.
Very stimulating. Especially if we're arguing about an issue or a subject. Yeah, it's pretty good. Debating somewhat.
Debating, sure. But the arguing part is like...
That's what they call debating. It's arguing, but they call it debating.
I just give him the win. I don't like arguing sometimes. I'm like, you know what? You got it. It's cool. I say what I have to say. I hope we can get past this. And we do.
And always love is love.
Yeah.
So this is your second time in love, huh?
Uh-huh.
Fuck. I remember my first or second time. What a fucking smuck. What a smuck I was. Our sponsor for this episode is LMNT Drink Mix. It's a tasty electrolyte drink mix with everything you need. No sugar, nothing artificial, no bullshit. I am an athlete, so I depend on my electrolytes. I train hard, so I lose a lot of sodium, up to 7 grams a day. If you don't get that back, I get really, really tired. Even if you don't train hard like me, everyone still needs electrolytes. You can really get a headache too, or a muscle cramp. And if you don't hydrate properly, oh man, anyone can try this risk-free and money-back guarantee, no questions asked. It's already used by many regulars like NBA, NHL, NFL, FBI, snipers, Navy SEALs, Marines use LMNT. LMNT's some tough shit. Anyone who wants to be a badass, all you have to do is go to drinklmnt.com/hotboxing for a free sample pack now. Oh shit! So you still sparring and training right now?
Yes. I'm actually right around the corner from here. So I'm in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Yes. I'm training at Jackson Wink's gym. I train alongside Holly Holm.
Did you train with Holly? You sparred with her yet?
Yeah.
Wow. You're sparring with the best, yeah.
Yeah, I sparred with Holly Holmes, Arlene Blenko. She fights for Bellator. Uh-huh. And Johnny Bones, we do like one-on-one sessions where he like shows me some stuff. And he's a really great fighter.
I really wish you the best. He's the greatest. I really wish you the best, man. I see how you're really driven to do this.
Yeah, I believe that I can do anything I put my mind to. And now that I'm 26, I want to retire at 34, 35. And I'm hoping that boxing and MMA can make me be a millionaire, a household name, and I can kind of step in Serena Williams' footsteps as far as in like the branding and stuff. So it's coming.
That's pretty awesome. You know, you have to have big goals for yourself to stay determined. And I just was goal orientated my whole life. It's always wanted to accomplish something. Always ego driven. Had low self esteem, so I was always ego driven.
You wouldn't think you had low self-esteem though, because you gave off that confidence like you always wanted to kill somebody. But question for you, did you really cry before all your fights?
Some of them.
Why?
That's who I am.
But I'm saying, like, why did you cry? Like, did you cry because you was like so angry trying to compose yourself, or was you crying because you was like scared, or?
A little bit of both. That I'm pretty scared, and by being scared, I'm really do something bad to this guy that his family's not gonna like.
Right, to keep him from.
And then I'm gonna be really guilty. I would feel really bad at the end.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I fight.
I only cried before one fight.
But it's good. Crying is the most. Man, it's amazing. I don't even know what to call crying. It's so relieving.
Yeah, I'm about to say it's a huge relief.
So
even though I hate
crying.
it, but sometimes it's needed.
We all have a different perspective of crying.
Yeah.
So tell me, man, this is how many millions of people we got? 89 million. 100. Listen, explain to them. I already know you're the greatest fighter of your era, but explain this to these people. Tell them who you are and how they get in contact with you.
I am Claressa the GWOAT Shields. GWOAT is GWOAT because Muhammad Ali will always be the GOAT, GOAT, so greatest woman of all time. I'm from Flint, Michigan. I'm a 12-time world champion in boxing, 1-0, 1 TKO in MMA with the PFL. I fight again October 27th on ESPN. I fight December on Sky Sports. And you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at Claressa Shields, all with the blue check mark.
You're pretty humble.
You know what? When it like comes to being humble, I always tell people that I'm humble to God, not to man. So I feel like people feel like I can't speak on how great I am, and they say that makes me cocky and not humble. But it's like, no, God made me great, and I'm humble to God to know that everything came from him. But I am the greatest woman fighter to ever walk this earth, period. Like, it'll never be another me.
I love the attitude. That's really beautiful.
I got the muscle to back it up. You know what I'm saying?
But you gotta put God in this too. You gotta be divine about this shit. When you're talking about, you gotta look at yourself. I'm the greatest fighter God ever produced. You gotta, when you really believe you're the best in everything, that means you're beautiful. And you're beautiful. That means that comes from God. So you have to explain to them that you're down with God, and God is down with you because this is what He restored upon you.
Yeah, highly favored. I don't know.
I know God cares, but I just know that He made me this way to say what I have to say, but it's all Him. This is all love. All this stuff is love.
Yeah, I think I love fighting too much. And I feel like that's what God put inside me. Like, to be a boxer and be an MMA fighter, sometimes I think to myself, I'm like, I think I'm kind of crazy. But then again, it's like, no, you just really love fighting, and that's what God wants you to do. But like, to deliver a message that anybody from anywhere can make it, because I'm from Flint. I went through a lot of things growing up, and now I'm sitting here with Mike Tyson, and he knows I'm the greatest one of all time.
Yes, I do.
And
yes, I do. Yes, I do.
And just the fact that I come from like humble beginnings, and that I really came from nothing, and now I'm something. And I think it wouldn't be possible without, God knowing that this was it for me. But He wants me to tell people who come from those areas that we can still make a way for ourselves.
Oh, no doubt about it. When you say you're nothing, you never come from nothing. All of that was preparing you for this. All adversity prepared you for this, I guess, this big school we live in. This is all this world is, some big school. We don't even know why we're here.
We don't know why we're here till we're leaving.
Maybe. We don't know anything until we leave, probably.
Yeah.
Man, we might imagine we never figure this out. Even when we die, imagine this is just, we don't figure this out. Our brain is not sophisticated enough. God didn't make us sophisticated enough to understand this. Do you understand it? If you didn't know what you knew now, would you know who you be? Like, if you didn't know anything that you know now, if you didn't know how to read, write, and nobody's name, could you tell somebody who you are? I can't tell somebody who I am, and I think I know shit, but I don't really know who am I. Some fucking
I could
creature.
probably express how express how I feel, maybe, but if I didn't know all that stuff, no, it'd be hard to express who I am. Yeah, if I didn't know that.
When I think about myself in that perspective, I'm just a compound of needs and necessities that are never going to get fulfilled. You know, and that's why I feel like I'm just a big hole that really never gets fulfilled. With my greed and all my, my ego get involved. I want to suck the world in, my gluttonous and stuff. And then I have my wife and my kids, and they bring me back to reality.
Yeah, it's about having somebody to bring you back.
Yeah,
It's good that you have your wife and your kids.
If I didn't, I would be an animal. And without them, I'm nothing. Nothing. I mean, it's shit. I'm so very glad that I have them in my life. You plan on having kids ever?
Yeah, I plan on having my first child at 29, so 3 more years.
That's your plan, right?
That's the plan. Hopefully I'm married before then. But if not, that's still the plan because I want to have a kid, bounce back, fight 3-4 more years, and then retire.
What kind of mom you think you'd be?
You know what? I think I'm going to be the mom to be like, do not fuck with my kid. That's the kind of mom I'm going to be. Like, my kid's going to be everywhere with me. Like, you know how Beyonce had Blue Ivy in the club? My baby going to be right there next to me. Like, we're here. If my baby can't come, I'm not coming. It's like my baby going to be with me all the time. I'm not going to be a stay-at-home mom. I'm traveling. My kid going to be with me. That's the kind of mom I see myself being.
You know what's going to happen?
What?
You're hanging. A lot of people gonna take your pictures like they do when they see you out, and just like my kids, I thought my kids would say, they don't want that shit." Our kids don't want that shit. All these niggas in their face with cameras and right there.
Oh, okay.
They don't want. I thought my kids would want that. I thought they would say, "Hey, look at Dad walking down the street, and everybody can't stop touching them and taking pictures." That stops our relationship from growing.
Well, that's how my family members are. They don't really like that when we go out places and people are like that toward me. My family members who are actually grown people and understand that I'm a celebrity, like they still feel like our time together is our time together.
Yeah, because this is what you do and that's not normal shit.
Yeah, it's not normal.
No, really, I think you think if this is not normal shit, the shit that we do, these are the games for the insane. I know you don't like to look at it, but this is all for some, we're not crazy because of who we are. We're crazy because what we have to endure and deal with. Mm-hmm. If you're not crazy in this world, I feel sorry for you. No, really, I do. I really do. I really do. And everybody understands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. If you're not, you ain't gonna be able to handle the pressure if you're not crazy. That's all this is. It's a big school out here.
No, I agree.
Testing us. Testing our endurance for life.
Yeah, I try to live my life to my own standards, though. They all have, like, this whole thing of who you should be, how you should be. And I'm like, look, I'm not here to live by nobody else's standards. I'm going to do what makes me happy and just...
I suck living life. I really suck. I'm not good at that at all.
What you mean?
It's living life by the rules of life. And sometimes
I like to just do whatever I want to do, regardless of whoever, how they look at it.
I can respect that. Everyone wants that. Everyone don't have the courage to grasp for that.
Yeah, that's me all day. Because people always say, "Oh, women shouldn't talk trash. Oh, women don't do this. Women don't do that." And it's like, how do you know what a woman do? You're not a woman. You don't know who I am on the inside. I'm not like every other woman that you like. I don't have to be exactly like them. I'm who I am, and people love it. Some people hate it, but at the end of the day,
there's been women millions of years ago.
I love it. Yeah,
they found one 4 million years old. Her name is Lucy.
Oh,
and who's her mother? Who's her grandmother? Who's her 10th grandmother? What is time? Time is invisible. We don't even see it, huh?
Yeah, time keeps going no matter what.
Yeah. But do you ever think this? What led up to you?
Like my parents or like...
Yeah, your whole bloodline. You ever think, what was that? What led up to me?
You know what? I do want to know where I'm from. That's the thing that sometimes bothers me the most about being here in America is like, I want to know where was the tribe that I came from before we got taken over here. Because I feel like that has a lot to do with who I am now. As far as in like my attitude towards fighting and just my internal spirit, I think that has a lot to do with where my original family came from before we were brought here.
I think that too sometimes. I say to myself, who put these thoughts in my mind? Why do I think like this? Oh, it has to come down from my bloodline. It has been passed through somebody.
Yeah, I
Why do
think
I think like this? I don't like thinking like this, but it is what it is.
I think somebody over there in Africa, like my great grandparent, was like a she warrior or something, because what I have inside of me is just different, and I haven't met another woman like me yet.
You might not meet another man like you.
I tell people all the time, like I'm harder than a lot of guys, but I just like, I just think I just accept who I am, but I'm learning myself too, and I know that it's just certain surroundings that I have to be surrounded with, because if you put me in like an environment where it's like where they consider the roughest and the toughest, I'm still gonna come out on top.
I hear that.
And I feel like I need to be surrounded by people who not gonna make me have to be the roughest or the toughest, and I can just do boxing and stuff without having to worry about jail and all that stuff, because it's like I will always figure out a way to like win, and I want to just win around successful people and not like win at the level of, street fighting or, having to do stuff that's
we
not good.
we reach different levels of love in life, and one of the levels of compassion, forgiveness, self-forgiveness,
Yeah.
self-suffering. And once we learn these levels of life, we be more secure with ourselves. Most of
Yeah.
us are people that most successful people have low self worth of themselves, but they have most success. And I never say how does that work? Or the guy with the lowest self esteem is the most successful person. All the money will run studios, but they don't think well about themselves. Can do anything. And I always wondered, why do people think that way? They think that shit is wraps around them, but they do great things. They have self esteem.
I think that just comes from like some people upbringing. I think that self-esteem has to be kind of built into you. I know my first boxing coach was the first person to tell me that you the greatest woman of all time. You the greatest fighter. That was my boxing coach at the age of 13. He told me that. So I didn't believe it until I was 17 that I was the greatest woman fighter of all time. So from the age of 11 till, like I said, 17, he was always telling me like, you the best. Can't nobody beat you. Even after I lost my only fight, he was always telling me, you the greatest woman fighter of all time. I'm telling you. And I just was like, oh no, I gotta beat the best first. So I gotta
But they
fight
could see
against the
that
best.
before we could.
They see your
Their
potential.
experience, they seen
Yeah.
it before. They could see it before we did.
Yeah, in my first boxing coach,
Sometimes I
Jason
wanted
knew.
to quit. I wasn't winning the way I was in the amateur. I wanted to quit sometimes, but I didn't.
How many times did you lose in the amateurs?
Quite a few. I've been knocked out. I've been beat. I wasn't a good amateur fighter. Just soon as I turned pro, shit just started being different. Shit started being
That's
different.
dope. Yeah, I only lost one time, and I was sparring the guys at the gym. But that one loss really did haunt me for a couple years, though. I had this documentary on Netflix. It's called T-Rex. And every time I watched it, when I lost, I would just start boo-hooing, crying. And I did that for like 4 years. I already had won the Olympics, and I still cried every time I seen it. And then after I won my second Olympics in 2016, now I can watch it, and I don't cry no more. I'm like, you know what? The loss, But it hurt me so bad, and it made me just want to. I never realized how much winning meant to me until I lost. When I lost, that's when I knew, like, you know what? I'm going to train so much harder because I never want to feel that again.
I always tell my daughter that. I said, listen, you know, and you know. You don't have to tell me, but just think about what is it that you can do. You person, what is it personally you can do to make you a better tennis player? Now, you don't got to tell me, but just be honest with yourself. Look yourself. What is it that you can do to make yourself a better tennis player? And now that's on you. You don't have to tell me.
Yep.
That's on you.
And you know what? That sounds similar to what me and my boxing coach talked about when I lost my first fight. He asked me, he said, I thought you won the fight, because he watched it over and over again. He said, you won. I don't know how you lost. I said, well, I lost. He said, but what do you feel like you could have done better? And at the time, I was so frustrated. I said, I did everything I could. That's what I verbally said to him. But inside of me,
you knew you could have did more.
I was like, you know what? My damn legs felt like they was tired. My dang arms felt kind of tired. Even though I was landing the punches, I felt like I couldn't get her from holding me. And when I had that conversation with myself, it was like, okay, so your legs got tired, we're gonna run more miles. Oh, you feel like your arms got tired, we're gonna punch the bag more. And that was something I said within myself. So the next 3 months leading up to the Olympics, when I lost when I was 17, I had 3 months till the Olympics. It just was like I was training overtime. 2 miles turned into 6. And then, 1 mile turned into 4. And 6 rounds on the back turned into 10. And I was just training so hard, so hard, so hard. And when I got there to the Olympics, I was like, my legs not going to hurt. My arms not going to hurt. I'm in great shape. I don't have no excuses. So if I lose in the Olympics, I'm like, I can walk away knowing that I gave everything I had in order to win. I did everything I was supposed to do before I got here. And so when I got there, people was doubting me, but I just was like, I'm out to show everybody how I get down.
That's right. It's all a mental game. All a mental game. Your body's only purpose is just to carry your brain.
Really?
That's its only purpose. It looks like it has a lot more than that to do, but that's the only purpose.
No, I think
the brain
that's true.
gives it the order to move. It doesn't do anything. We just hold your brain.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry this is going too long. We have an awesome love fest going on here about boxing. But listen.
About boxing, about life. I love Mike Tyson. So y'all
Thank
know.
you very much. And the same here. I love you as well. And we got to say bye. This is Hotboxin with Mike Tyson, the greatest woman fighter of her generation, Claressa Shields. It's beautiful having you here. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. Appreciate
this is
you.
Beautiful. Ta-ta.